Good afternoon, everyone. Today we are going to celebrate the great state of Texas. And they say everything is bigger in Texas, and there sure are a lot of songs about Texas. And I haven't learned all of them, but man, there's a lot to choose from. To be fair, it is a big state, so there's a lot of places you can sing about, but my goodness. All right, we'll get started with our hellos. Hail, hail, the gang's all here. What the heck do we care? What the heck do we care? Hail, hail, the gang's all here. What the heck do we care now? Hail, hail, the gang's all here. What the heck do we care? What the heck do we care? Hail, hail, the gang's all here. What the heck do we care now? If I knew you were coming, I'd have baked a cake, baked a cake, baked a cake. If I knew you were coming, I'd have baked a cake. How you do, how you do, how you do? Had to drop me a letter, I'd have hired a band, the grandest band in the land. Had to drop me a letter, I'd have hired a band, spread the welcome mat for you. Now I don't know where you came from, 'cause I don't know where you've been. But it really doesn't matter, grab a chair and fill your platter and dig, dig, dig right in. If I knew you were coming, I'd have baked a cake, baked a cake, baked a cake. If I knew you were coming, I'd have baked a cake. How you do, how you do, how you do? How you do, how you do, how you do? Now, there's a lot of history in Texas, but I thought we would go kind of a silly route and just do random trivia about the state of Texas. The temperature is messing with my guitar. There we go. Excuse me. So we're going to do random trivia about the great state of Texas. So number 1, crazy facts about Texas. There's one Texas ranch that's bigger than the entire state of Rhode Island. The King Ranch in South Texas covers 1,289 square miles. Compare that to the size of the entire state of Rhode Island, which is 1,212 square miles. There's also a windmill farm that's about 7 times the size of Manhattan. There is a lot of space in Texas. One Texas town renamed itself to get free cable. I don't know if that's worth it. The town of Dish in Denton County used to be called Clark. But one day in 2005, satellite television company Dish Network made Clark an offer it couldn't refuse. In exchange for renaming the town Dish, each of its 201 residents would receive free basic television service for 10 years and free digital video recorder. Can you blame them? I guess it's not that big of a deal, but I don't really watch a lot of cable, so I don't know if it'd be worth it for me. Okay, we're going to start off with some old classics. The Yellow Rose of Texas. There's a yellow rose in Texas I'm going back to see. She wants no other feather, nobody only me. Oh, she cried so when I left her that it nearly broke her heart. And I hope that when we meet again we never more shall part. She's the sweetest little lady a fellow ever knew. Her eyes as bright as diamonds, they sparkled like the dew. You may rave about your dearest girl and sing of Rosalie, but the yellow rose of Texas beats the bells of Tennessee. Down beside the Rio Grande, the stars were shining bright. We'd walk along together one quiet summer night. Oh, so I hope that she remembers how we parted long ago. And I'll keep my promise to return and never let her go. There's a yellow rose in Texas I'm going back to see. She wants no other fellow, nobody, only me. Oh, she cried so when I left her that it nearly broke her heart. And I hope that when we meet again we never more shall part. The Yellow Rose of Texas, an old cowboy song. Okay. Oops, excuse me, I'm bobbing you around. One Texas town rescheduled Halloween because it conflicted with football. Texas football is no joke. In fact, in 2014, the small town of Decatur voted to reschedule Halloween to October 30th because the October 31st date would have conflicted with the local high school's Friday night football game. It makes total sense, but that's not all. Nearly 14% of the state's high school stadiums boast video scoreboards, and the high school football game with the all-time highest attendance rate was a 2013 playoff game that brought together 54,357 fans for a high school football game. Whoa. Can it really be that good? Apparently. Did you know that it is illegal to milk someone else's cow in Texas? Texas is pretty quirky, and all it takes is to look at its legal code to see that. The state still has plenty of strange, antiquated laws that will definitely raise your eyebrows. For instance, it's illegal to sell your eye, to dust a public building with a feather duster, to milk someone else's cow, and to shoot a buffalo from the second story of a hotel. Apparently that's happened before. And you absolutely cannot let a camel run loose on the beaches of Galveston. On the other hand, it's totally legal for you to shoot and kill Bigfoot if you happen to see him out and about. There's a dialect of German that's only spoken in Texas. Texas has a huge amount of German cultural influence thanks to the influx of German immigrants who came to the state in the mid-19th century. Texas German is still spoke today, and you'll encounter it particularly in the towns of Fredericksburg, New Braunfels, Born, Schulenburg, and Weimar. Those are all very German-sounding towns. Okay, waltz across Texas. This is an old Ernest Tubb song. When we dance together, my world's in disguise. It's a fairyland tale that's come true. And when you look at me with those stars in your eyes, I could waltz across Texas with you. Waltz across Texas with you in my arms. Waltz across Texas with you. Like a storybook ending, I'm lost in your charms. I could waltz across Texas with you. My heartaches and troubles are just stop and gone the moment you come into view. And with your hand in mine, dear, I could dance on and on. I could waltz across Texas with you. Waltz across Texas with you in my arms. Waltz across Texas with you. Like a storybook ending, I'm lost in your charms. I could waltz waltz across Texas with you. Waltz across Texas with you in my arms. Waltz across Texas with you. Like a storybook ending, I'm lost in your charms. I can waltz across Texas with you. There's only one place called Earth in the world, and it's located in Texas. Texas is filled with tiny little towns that boast awesome names. If you can't afford a European vacation, just hop in your car and drive through Paris, Athens, Naples, London, Dublin, and Florence, Texas. There's even a town called Earth in the plains of Llano Estacado, and it's the only town on the planet to bear the name Earth. The Six Flags theme parks owe their name to Texas history. When Texas businessman Agnes G. Wine decided to open his first theme park in 1961, he wanted to call it something that would serve as homage to his home state's history. From that inspiration came the amusement park Six Flags Over Texas in Arlington, which pays tribute to the fact that in its entire history, Texas has been owned by 6 different countries. Here's the rundown. Texas belonged to Spain from 1519 to 1685. Was taken by France from 1685 to 1690, then Spain again from 1690 to 1821. After Mexico won its independence from Spain, Texas was part of Mexico from 1821 to 1836. It became the Republic of Texas from 1836 to 1846, and then joined the U.S. from 1846 to 1861. It seceded to join the Confederate States of America from 1861 to 1865, and then after the Civil War ended, Texas rejoined the United States. Some pretty turbulent history right there. And true to that comment, Texas once went 10 years in an independent country. Here's a brief primer on Texas history. During the age of manifest destiny, wagon loads of American settlers came into Texas, which at the time was part of Mexico, and eventually decided that they wanted their independence. The Texas Revolution lasted from October 2nd, 1835 to April 21st, 1836, culminating in the formation of a Republic of Texas. The country lasted just 10 years before it agreed to join the United States. It became the 28th state of the Union on February 19th, 1846. Did you know the phrase "don't mess with Texas" comes from an anti-litter campaign? The tough phrase has become iconic, but it was actually invented by an advertising agency in 1985 for the Texas Department of Transportation, and everyone who lived in Texas during the 90s will remember the slogan from the classic commercials that would come on TV. The "Don't Mess with Texas" campaign still works today to educate the public and prevent littering. All right. We'll do another old Western. This one's a little bit depressing though, but this is Marty Robbins, The Streets of Laredo. Lots of Westerns about Texas. As I walked down in the streets of Laredo, as I walked out in Laredo one day, I spied a young cowboy wrapped in white linen, as cold as the clay. Oh, beat the drum slowly and play the fife lowly. Sing the death march as you carry me along. Take me to the valley, there lay the sod o'er me. I'm a young cowboy, and know I've done wrong. I see by your outfit that you are a cowboy. These words he did say as he boldly walked by. Come sit down beside me and hear my sad story. Got shot in the breast, and now I must die. Go fetch me some water, a cool cup of water, to cool my parched lips. Then the poor cowboy said, before I returned, his spirit had left him, had gone to his maker. The cowboy was dead. I beat the drum slowly and play the fife lowly. Sing the death march as you carry me along. Take me to the valley, there lay the sad Orme. I'm a young cowboy and know I've done wrong. All right, Texas is more than twice the size of Germany. Texas is bigger than you think. I don't know. I think we all know it's pretty big. It clocks in at 268,497 square miles. 268,497 square miles. It's larger than every country in Europe and could easily fit a handful of European countries within its borders. In fact, if you strategically juxtapose the shape of Texas over a map of Europe, you could fit the cities of Paris, Prague, Milan, Amsterdam, Brussels, Munich, and Florence. Not to mention, 1 in every 12 Americans lives in Texas. When they say everything's bigger in Texas, they're not kidding. Now this, I did not know, but I'm not surprised. Texas has its own Pledge of Allegiance. If Texas is one thing, it's proud. Some Texans boast that the state is the only one that's allowed to fly in its state flag at the same height as the American flag. In fact, all states are technically allowed to do this, but most don't. Students are also required by state law to recite both the American Pledge of Allegiance and the Texas Pledge every morning. Here's the Texas Pledge of Allegiance. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible. The Texas flag looks extremely similar to the Chilean flag, which causes a lot of confusion. So much confusion, I love this, that in 2017, Representative Tom Oliverson of Houston introduced a piece of legislation that called for Texans to stop using the Chilean flag emoji in place of the Texas flag. Technically, the resolution is non-binding, which means there's no legal penalties for disregarding it. My goodness. The official ruling is resolved that the 85th legislature of the state of Texas hereby reject the notion that the Chilean flag, although it is a nice flag, can in any way compare to or be substituted for the original official state flag of Texas, and urge all Texans not to use the Republic of Chile flag emoji in digital forms when referring to the Lone Star flag of the great state of Texas. The United States has 3 power grids, one for the East, one for the West, and one for Texas. The continental U.S. is served by 3 separate power grids, the Eastern Interconnection, the Western Interconnection, and Texas. It has to do with the state's commitment to avoiding federal regulations. According to the Texas Tribune, in 1935, President Franklin D. Roosevelt signed the Federal Power Act, which charged the Federal Power Commission with overseeing interstate electricity sales. By not crossing state lines, Texas utilities avoided being subjected to federal rules. All right, let's sing another song. Okay. This is kind of a silly song, but I think you'll know it. This is Lukenbach, Texas. Waylon and Willie and the boys. Let's see. The only two things in life that make it worth living is guitars that tune good and firm feeling women. I don't need my name in marquee lights. Got my song and I got you with me tonight. Maybe it's time we got back to the basics of love. Let's go to Lukenbach, Texas, with Waylon and Willie and the boys. The successful life we're living got us feuding like the Hatfields and McCoy. Between Hank Williams' pain songs, Newberry's train songs, Blue Eyes crying in the rain. Out in Lukenbach, Texas, ain't nobody feeling the pain. So baby, sell your diamond rings, buy some boots and faded jeans and go away. This coat and tie is choking me, in your high society you cry all day. We've been so busy keeping up with the Joneses, sport car garage, we're still building on. Maybe it's time we got back to the basics of love. Let's go to Lukenbach, Texas, with Waylon and Willie and the boys. The successful life we're living got us feeling like the Hatfields and McCoys. Between Hank Williams' pain songs, Newberry's train songs, Blue Eyes crying in the rain. Out in Lukenbach, Texas, ain't nobody feeling the pain. So baby, sell your diamond rings, buy some boots and faded jeans and go away. This coat and tie is choking me, in your high society you cry all day. We've been so busy keeping up with the Joneses, sport car garage, we're still building on. Maybe it's time we got back to the basics of love. Let's go to Lukenbach, Texas, with Waylon and Willie and the boys. The successful life we're living got us feeling like the Hatfields and McCoys. Between Hank Williams' pain songs, Newberry's train songs, and Blue Eyes crying in the rain. Out in Lukenbach, Texas, ain't nobody feeling no pain. Out in Lukenbach, Texas, ain't nobody feeling no pain. Okay. Austin has the most live music venues per capita in the United States. The capital of Texas boasts the claim of being the live music capital of the world. The city holds this title by having the most live music venues per capita in the nation. It's home to more than 1,900 bands and performing artists and more than 250 concert venues. When you come to town for any of the many music festivals, or you're just taking a stroll down the iconic 6th Street, you're sure to hear some incredible music while you're there. I had no idea. The word Texas means friends. It was named by the native people who lived there before the Spanish conquest. The name is Hasinai, I think maybe is how you say it. Hasinai. Word for friends or allies. Today, the Texas motto is simply friendship. Dr. Pepper is a Texas native. Dr. Pepper is one of the oldest and, in some people's opinions, most delicious soft drinks out there. It was invented by Charles Alderton, a pharmacist at Morrison's Old Corner Drugstore in Waco in 1885. He was inspired by the scent of a drugstore mix of fruity syrups and decided to make a carbonated drink to match the smell. In fact, the Dr. Pepper Museum, located in the 1906 Artisan Manufacturing and Bottling Company, makes for a great stop if you're ever in Waco. Texas high schoolers exchange extravagant homecoming mums instead of corsages. And they have some pictures here, and I don't even know how. I'm assuming you don't wear it. You just get it. It's really big. And these things can cost thousands of dollars. That's ridiculous. The tradition started with a simple chrysanthemum flower given from a high school guy to his homecoming date. But then it took on a life of its own. Nowadays, the mums can include literally hundreds of flowers, cost hundreds of dollars, and be as large as 5 feet tall. On the plus side, you get your money's worth. Texans wear these things all day at school and then to the homecoming game afterward. How do you wear something that's 5 feet tall? That's ridiculous. You can thank Texas for Whole Foods and 7-Eleven. These stores are everywhere now, but they both got their start in good old Texas. 7-Eleven traces its origin to Dallas in 1927, when the Southland Ice Company began selling food in its stores and called the businesses totem stores. They changed their name to 7-Eleven in 1946 to advertise their new store hours. Whole Foods was founded in Austin in 1980, and at the time was only one of only a dozen natural food stores in the country. Now they're all over. All right. Deep in the heart of Texas. The stars at night are big and bright, deep in the heart of Texas. The prairie sky is wide and high, deep in the heart of Texas. The sage in bloom is like perfume, deep in the heart of Texas. Reminds me of the one I love, deep in the heart of Texas. The cowboys cry, Ki-Yip-Ki-Yay, deep in the heart of Texas. The rabbits rush around the brush, deep in the heart of Texas. The coyotes wail along the trail, deep in the heart of Texas. The doggies fall and fall and fall, deep in the heart of Texas. The stars at night are big and bright, deep in the heart of Texas. The prairie sky is wide and high, deep in the heart of Texas. Okay. The State Fair of Texas boasts the largest Ferris wheel in North America. It's also the largest and longest running state fair in the country. Established in 1886, the State Fair of Texas takes place every fall in Dallas and lasts 24 days. Here you'll find tons of fried food, carnival rides, live music, ag contests, and a whole bunch of Texas price. And a whole ton of Texas price, yeah. You'll know you're there when you see the Big Tex, the gigantic statue that is the fair's mascot. Last year's event welcomed more than 2 million visitors. This one I really enjoyed. Austin is home to the world's largest urban bat colony. If you're in Austin between March and October, you can catch a glimpse of the South Congress Avenue Bridge bats, the largest urban colony of bats in the world. Around sunset, the city's 1.5 million bats take off into the night, and it's nothing short of a sight to behold. If you pay attention, you'll find bat symbols and illusions all over Austin. I had no idea. Okay. This is Amarillo by Morning. Amarillo by morning, up from San Antone. Everything that I've got is just what I've got on. When that sun is high in that Texas sky, I'll be bucking at the county fair. Amarillo by morning, Amarillo, I'll be there. They took my saddle in Houston and Santa Fe. Lost my wife and a girlfriend somewhere along the way. But I'll be looking for 8 when they pull that gate, and I hope that judge ain't blind. Amarillo by morning, Amarillo's on my mind. Amarillo by morning, up from San Antone. Everything that I've got is just what I've got on. I ain't got a dime, but what I got is mine. I ain't rich, but Lord, I'm free. Amarillo by morning, Amarillo's where I'll be. Amarillo by morning, Amarillo's where I'll be. All right, we'll finish up here with a few more tidbits of information and then one more song. The hamburger was allegedly invented in Texas. I don't know if I believe it. The town of Athens holds a slightly controversial claim that the birthplace of the hamburger. But that's not the only good thing on the grill. Texas barbecue is an art all its own and an absolute must try. And surprisingly, it was not invented there. The first reference to American barbecue came from Salem, Massachusetts in 1773. The Texas state capitol is 15 feet taller than the U.S. Capitol. It's not a contest, but the state capitol building in Texas is bigger than the Capitol in D.C. They're 308 feet and 288 feet, respectively. Featuring a similar dome shape, the two Capitol buildings also look oddly alike. The Texas Capitol is made out of Texas Hill Country limestone and granite and features a marble statue on top called the Goddess of Liberty. Sadly, it's only the second tallest state capitol in the country. Number 1 is Louisiana, whose 450-foot capitol is also the 7th tallest building in the state. The Texas Department of Transportation has a team of gardeners with a very important job. It's an annual tradition, springtime tradition, for Texans to pull over on the side of the road, get out of the car, and take pictures of bluebonnets and other wildflowers that line the sides of their highways. Bluebonnets are the state flower of Texas. Since the 1930s, gardeners at the Texas Department of Transportation have spread more than 30,000 pounds of wildflower seeds along the highways each year, in an effort to preserve the growth of native wildflowers. And when they bloom, it's simply stunning. And last but not least, Texas is the fastest growing state in the United States. I can't say that I'm surprised about that. So, the more you know. Here's all kinds of useless information about Texas. All right. And just to wrap it up and keep it kosher, we're going to go ahead and do this. Land is your land. There's a lot of really great things about Texas. There's a lot of really great things about every state. So, here we go. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island. From the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. As I was walking that ribbon of highway, I saw above me, there in the skyway, I saw below me a golden valley. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island. From the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. I've roamed and rambled. I followed my footsteps to the sparkling sands of her golden desert. Then all around me, a voice kept shouting, this land was made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Island. From the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. This land was made for you and me. As always, thanks for joining me, and I will see you again soon. If there's anything I can do to help you feel well, and as always, let me know. I'm here for you. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.